Orianna available here. Jarvan as well. One of these at least is going to get through these first phase of bans. Would be really surprised to see Orianna left open, but it is going to be that. Jarvan, the last ban to come through here. So HongQ could be given the opportunity to play the literal pick ban mid laner that has dominated the 2026 year, Mazel.
Hey, it's oh, we'll see that Orianna
I saw Rengar and
in.
I panicked.
Yeah, just a weird bug, I guess. They're both picking at the same time, kind of. But the Orianna can be answered too, and I'm sure, you know, trying to find another setup in mid lane like Heru had to really be able to enable Junhao would be huge. But they want to focus on the bot lane to start off for TT as they go with the Ezreal Bard come up.
Yep. So Bard signals to me that we'll probably be having a proactive jungler again for Junhao. But like we said in the Split 1 draft, this is kind of a departure from what ThunderTalk usually do in the first 3 picks. They really like to go for their top side. They're instead looking to go for a bot lane pairing. So I do think this puts more emphasis on maybe looking at the bot lane to be something to keep our eyes on early here, Mazel, as Nefiri, a good ball deliverer, but also does give JunJia that carry agency that was sorely lacking with the Lee Sin performance of game number 1. Maybe we get to see a redemption arc come through from him in game 2.
Yeah, something that does have a little bit more sustained in some of these fights as well. Really looking forward to see how he kind of brings the pilot onto the Nefiri here. But the Kaisa, the Gala, Kaisa
Gala
gets
special.
Dude, Gala just took off the gloves. He said it's go time.
Yep. He is not messing around. You can see full laser-focused seriousness on Gala's face right there, given the champion that he is synonymous with. This is his character, Mazel. And now the question
the best
kind of becomes,
Kaisa in LPL for sure.
What? Probably. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. What are you going to pair with it is sort of what I am wondering. Nautilus is obviously, I think, the most obvious answer, but as we get into the second phase, I would imagine most of these good pairings with the Kaisa are going to be denied away from Vampire. So when the dust settles, what is left? That will be the question. ThunderTalk, though, going for the Xin Zhao. We said we wanted to see proactivity, and with the Jarvan and the Lee Sin taken off the board, I feel like Xin Zhao is probably your default go-to.
I do really like Xin Zhao, especially to be able to deny some of the setup around objectives that I definitely think we're going to be leaning into this time around. Still some propensity for fast pace for JDG in their first trio, but as we get into the second phase here, we're really going to see some of those key focuses. We already get the Nico banned away by TT towards JDG and the Akali banned away from Heru. We saw what happened last time.
Yeah, we do, and this is another Heru comfort pick, so Rise taken off the board means that his 2 most played are no longer going to be available, but ThunderTalk, crucially, don't have much magic damage on their side, so I think giving Heru something that really scales up nicely, has a similar curve to the Ezreal, would make this game very easy for ThunderTalk. You just give all of the resources over to Junhao early, and then he can kind of bridge it over to multiple late game threats. This is a style that ThunderTalk have employed in the past to mixed results, Mazel.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting part here, as we're going to finally see what combo this mid-jungle wants to go for. See what they kind of want to use that power strength of what Xin Zhao can do in the earlier part of the game with for Heru. He's going through every possible champion and returns to the Ahri, which is a pretty lethal duo. Maybe not one of the stock standard ones, obviously, but Vi's already gone, so there you go.
Yeah. Also does give you more pick angles. I think Charm connects and Wind Become Lightning just comes through here, and Vampire with one hook champion in the Nautilus banned away, another one rears its ugly head, and it will be the Pike. Xiaoxu gonna get his famous Renekton as well. Comfort picks are just coming through here in game number 2. Mazel, JDG are not messing around.
They are not. I think there was a serious conversation had by Tabe with the team after that game number 1 and saying, we're just going to take something we know. Yeah, hit him with the gold cards, if that's what you want to call it. We'll see if Vampire can put on a similar performance to the likes of Carrier that we've been seeing over in the LCK, but I just love that we get this lethality in the bot lane for JDG, really changing some of that focus here, but giving a ton of members avenues to carry.
Yeah. all of the members of JDG have the ability to, if they get the ball, deliver a slam dunk. But ThunderTalk, crucially, did get counter pick in both solo lanes. Renekton is countered heavily by the Gnar. You basically need to ban the champion away from Renekton if you want to play it, and then Ahri is a good response into the Orianna. So I think I like what ThunderTalk have planned here. This feels like more of a pick-oriented comp, and so now it feels like they might be the ones on a bit of a timer. But JDG, you know, you've got the Naafiri, you've got the Pyke, you've got 2 assassins on your team. So the early game, like we said, is the important phase of this match. And I feel like that reigns true for both teams. Scaling is still there for ThunderTalk, but they do want to get the ball rolling early. They cannot be passive like they were in game number 1. They can't let the game come to them in a way.
Yeah, I think a little bit of the same as well. I feel like, yes, there's some good options there for JDG, but they are sticking to their guns in having to be proactive, having to execute cleanly with this style of composition. And I appreciate that. I respect the hell out of it, because if you don't win this game, then you're down 2-0 against a team that has been running with the momentum they've received so far this, at least playoffs, the play-in at least.
And frankly, these picks in draft 2 of game 2 for JDG kind of feel like the second phase of a boss fight, Mazel. So we're going to have to see if they fight like the second phase of a boss fight.
Where's our Gios? Please.
No, where are they?
I waited a week. Announcer, stop talking.
JDG are maybe a little too demoralized. We gotta pick the crowd up a little bit, because you have to imagine that the overwhelming majority of the audience likely in the arena watching this live are fans of JDG. ThunderTalk, for all of the history that they have as an organization, most of it has not been labeled under the banner of success. They have been an org that has historically fallen short. So it is even more intense now, that at least the stakes are more intense, because ThunderTalk are 1-0 up in this series and have a decent draft going into game number 2.
Yeah, we had a little graphic prepared talking about TT in the history, at least, for them. If we could go ahead and bring that up, Ice, that would be awesome if we do have that ready to go. But it is a crazy track record to think, like, a year ago, thinking about how TT was making everyone believe they were some of the darlings of the LPL. And obviously, it's a very, very different team from that moment. But still, thinking of the history of the organization is a cool way.
For sure. We look at the track record of ThunderTalk, and everything not highlighted in white, or things highlighted in white, are playoffs that they did not make. So a majority of them, about half of them, are, you know, no information, because they were not in the runnings to actually participate in those competitions. But most of them, they have not broken the 9th through 10th seeding. Only once have they managed to do that, and that was around this time last year, 2025 winter. So already making it into top 8 does put them at their second best run ever, but being able to win against JDG, that would do some insane things for the organization.
And I think to continue on that conversation and move away from the records themselves, it's, oh, Keshi. Okay, he's fine. It's fine. It's a big angry croc. He's fine. It's the fact that it's a bunch of new faces, fresh faces that are making this run. I think that's what the most important thing for TT is they were trying to find what worked, and it wasn't working. And so they were able to find some different additions, find some transfers, and make the most out of it, and give these players a chance to, some of them, make a second going at it, and some of them make a fresh start.
The team of journeymen and rookies looking to make what is potentially the start of a miracle run. Don't want to overhype it too much. It is, after all, just one win on a JDG, but can't help it, Mazel. We are storytellers after all, and it would absolutely make an amazing story if ThunderTalk managed to make what felt like the impossible actually happen here in the first series of the LPL playoffs. Kick us off with a banger, not just in the performances and the games, but with a result as well as bot lane fighting.
Speaking of, the plasma stacks, they're right there. As they're going to try to move forward very close. Meanwhile, we got the rebuttal on topside. Keshi had almost gotten solo killed, dropped below 100 health. Xiaoxu now has dropped below 100 health. He'll heal back. But we have to also look at the culmination of some of the jungle paths coming through here as well. As we will have that coming out on opposite ends, at least, with the re-clear actually being started by JunJia.
Neither jungler went for a reset after their first full clear. They're actually staying on the map extra long, and Junhao really wants to try and make that worth it. He's looking for a lane gank. They're going to have to bait Xiaoxu to find an angle onto Keshi. Both top laners do have flash as well, so is he going to fall for it?
I think he will. He's going to take the bait. Hey, all you got to do is hold out a piece of meat on a string. He will hit the Dominus, but is it enough? A nice little bounce and a skip will get TT another first blood.
That's flash burned as well. Xiaoxu looking for the level 6 spike to turn onto Keshi, but he gets hit with the gank by Junhao. The extended second full clear ends up paying off. Keshi gets first blood. And he's going to miss this entire wave as well, Mazel. So it is the Renekton falling behind early. JDG might be able to make a play on the bot side, though.
Bone Skewer does connect. Feather has the magical journey, though. He'll be perfectly fine. And that is the power of the deflect of what this bot lane 2v2 can have. It's JDG desperately looking for something to hold on to in this early game. They're trying to make plays, Quax, but it's just not hitting.
And for Vampire, it isn't just a preference. It's a basic necessity of Pyke. This champion falls off so hard post 20 minutes. If you do not have kills, you are, and I say this with as much respect as I can, a walking caster creep.
Oh, well, Feather's about to be a walking dead man here. He's going to try to do the same play.
There's no way.
Is this deja vu? Is this real life, Quax? Please.
Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. HongQ
can't be fooled again.
Yep. And, I mean, JunJia just looking for these angles to try and get accelerated on this Naafiri, but it's not really working out. He looks for a Raptors invade, and Vampire's here.
Oh, that was a nice audacious charge back, and he's got that level 6. He's not able to survive for very much longer, though, and JunJia cleans him up. That's some of the skirmish power of this Naafiri. Almost took down Heru, too.
And credit there for Vampire on the roam. Doesn't end up connecting the Bone Skewer, but forces Junhao to go back into the mid-jungle duo of JDG as a replay comes through of the initial first blood. Yeah, Xiaoxu, he knew he was hitting level 6 soon and could have turned the fight, but he gets hit with the 1v2. And it's just easy pickings there. Has to burn the flash as well. So maybe a possible re-gank available for Junhao. Grubs are coming up in about 40 seconds, so gives the Xin Zhao an excuse to visit on toward that top side.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've seen those, like, the crocodiles at zoos and stuff when they feed them, you know. They're pretty easy to control and manipulate. You know, you just throw a little bit of meat in front of them, and all of a sudden they get really hungry, and they just want to go forward. And that's what happened there. See how much of a different setup is in bot side. Dude, this magical journey wall is Feather's home. This is where he exists. This is where he is comfortable, and he is very happy with it.
Yup. Feather has escaped death 3 times with the exact same trick in game number 2.
Is he Harry Potter? I don't know.
8 minutes into the game. Yeah, he's the rebooted Harry Potter at this point. JDG, though, do not want to let these grubs go for free. Vampire is looking for those roams and doesn't connect the Bone Skewer, but Prio going to be given over to JDG in mid. Doesn't look like they're interested in moving toward that top side. Instead, maybe just looking to trade for that dragon.
Yeah, I do like the objective start here, and I do really like TT's comp with 3 grubs. I feel like it's very powerful under turret with some of the catch and some of the poke that they will have. Those are secured. Dragon did get started up by JDG. See if they can finish it in time, as Junhao is moving across, but should be plenty enough time for the Naafiri to finish that one up. Meanwhile, we're getting an exhaust, and bot side is on, able to use that one, but now he's in some trouble. Going to use the Coco to heal up and get a little bit of movement speed. Big damage coming through from HongQ, but the heal comes out from Feather and saves his life. Feather is having an immense game right now in the early part of game 2.
Good read there from Feather, like you said. I think the movement speed unironically saved On's life there to get him away from HongQ. Now ThunderTalk, after getting the grubs, have redeployed onto the bot side, but we can see JDG are not shying away from this challenge. They want to fight.
They do. They want to stay proactive. They want to continue to try to find advantages. There are going to be a reset from the bot lane of Gala and Viper. We'll see what they are able to get back out on the map. Axe is completed there for Gala, so we'll have some more early power, but those are little minute changes as Junhao will end up seeing that he was under vision here and be able to take that one out. But we are going to return to a state of calm with no objectives up for the foreseeable future here, and first items close at hand here. It is going to now be up to what these roams from Vampire and Feather can accomplish, and I love that we have a game where that is so heavily prevalent.
Vampire, crucially though, falling behind pretty noticeably in experience as
oh my god, he just dies out with the flash from Junhao. What are those moves? My goodness, dude, he just broke ankles.
Flashes over the E rather, doesn't get stunned by the trail it leaves behind, and kill going over to Junhao now. Gala is completely sectioned off. He's gonna get stunned, but there's no real follow-up from the CC coming through from Feather, so just a plate likely going to go over to On. And overall, ThunderTalk fighting back. JDG have been giving a lot of effort to make early game plays happen. This is the effort that we wanted to see in game number 1, but for all of that, it just doesn't feel like it is paying the level of dividends that you as JDG would hope. And I think part of the reason for that is because of ThunderTalk getting that early first blood. Keshi is almost 1,000 gold up over Xiaoxu in a counter matchup, by the way. It doesn't get any easier for this Renekton, and I feel like that has negated and mitigated all of the gold leads that JDG have attempted to grow on the spot side.
And the craziest part is, I know this is a little bit of lore, and if you follow it on socials, you'll know as well, but TT weren't really nominated for much of the spots or any of the spots for the All-Pro for Nirvana. And so being able to see them kind of show out here and be one of the forerunners of the playoffs now in this setup, so far at least, it's pretty impressive in its own right. But it's now looking like JDG want to be a bit proactive on the top side. They have switched up the lane assignments and brought Gala and Vampire there.
So this is going to get Keshi to back away from his turret. This likely will give a plate over to Gala. Some more income to the Kaisa. He is Mininar, so could be Dove, but Vampire's just face-checking around that corner!
Oh my god, he goes around the corner, and he was invisible, and he's the one that got scared. As Gala now getting ran down by Keshi. Keshi just chasing him, dude. It's the Meganar ult into the wall, up into the wall, and into the slam. Keshi finds the kill there, and he does have the Tempered Fate there, but it's going to miss by Feather. But the rest of TT coming in full force. Here comes the Hound's pursuit. Here's the combo. JunJia gets stopped mid-air by the 3-talon strike of Junhao. Junhao trying to go for more kills, trying to go for more damage, and he finds one. He's going to find JunJia, which means Xiaoxu having to back away. Heru fighting HongQ in the mid lane in a 1v1. HongQ almost taking him down. Top lane shenanigans abound, but TT and Junhao come out the bigger.
And ThunderTalk responding on every single front there. Vampire face checks. All right, we're going to take him out. All right, Gala's completely alone. I'm going to try and solo him away. The Nefiri is engaging. I'm going to knock him up mid-air to prevent the re-engage from the JDG remaining members. And then the cherry on top, HongQ gets his teleport interrupted by Heru. Everything comes up here for TT. It's an equal amount of trade and kills, but TT played that fight so much better in my opinion.
I mean, Junhao's just gaming. I don't know what has gone into him. I know he's been pretty good here this split in a lot of moments for TT, but this guy is just gaming in these last 2 series. He is a monster.
He really is. Knock up onto JunJia prevents the reset from instantly coming through. He gets taken down. ThunderTalk are really shouting in this game. They're not just talking anymore. They are raising the volume. You can see the crowd elated and hyped up as we have a hell of a competitive series here to kick off the playoffs, Mazel.
Competitive if you're a TT fan. You're a little bit worried if you're a JDG fan, at least right now. See if they can get this back in tow here. It is the Dragon right now being started up by JunJia and Co.
No Meganar, crucially, He does have it right now, which means if he teleports, he's going to go back to Mini, and I think that ThunderTalk with no real re-engage. They're going to go for a fight, though.
They lose the dragon. A really nice setup by JunJia to get away. Xiaoxu is the one that gets engaged on. He goes with the play, though, as the shockwave comes through. He lived for so long, and now Gala has a chance to do his Kaisa magic. JunJia goes for the fight, and JunJia goes for the kill. It's going to be On that found Viper, and HongQ that found Junhao. Keshi tries to go for the Meganar play on HongQ, but it's still TT who are picking up the scraps here. Gala on his Kaisa will sidestep and put down Heru.
Yeah, it's Gala. You know, they were trying to aura farm on the ADC for JDG, but JDG's AD carry, Gala, on his signature pick, aura farms right back. Flash secures the kill, and crucially, JDG getting themselves the dragon. So even though the skirmishes haven't been going their way over the past few minutes, they still have a sole win condition alive.
We're going to take a look back at how this chaotic play played out. They got the dragon, but it's the Tempered Fate that set back up the play.
Really crucial W coming out there for JunJia to escape the stun coming through from Feather. And then even though Junhao lives for a super long time, so does Xiaoxu. This gives an opportunity to JDG to re-engage the fight. JunJia actually gets to do his thing for a little bit before getting taken down himself. And then Gala, full health the entire time. The Kaisa completely unbesmirched. And then Heru tries to do some shenanigans. Well, what are you gonna do against this guy when he's on his character?
That's what you're stepping to a legend right there, buddy. A little too big for your britches, huh? Is what Gala says. As Vampire unfortunately just take it out again. Oh man, the Tempered Fate. HongQ just instantly double CC'd both the members of JDG who just died. Did not get to play their champions for that last 5 seconds.
And I don't know if the Pyke experimental pick is working out here, Mazel. 0-4-2.
This is looking like old Vampire.
At 16 minutes, it really isn't paying off. As now Xiaoxu has been caught in transition, but should be able to get away. This does, however, give the tier 1 top lane turret over to ThunderTalk, and they will claim more gold for themselves just to grow this lead that the Gnar has already made huge.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to break down mid lane pretty quickly there, and now just scooping up more and more gold. Is this the beginning of belief for TT? Is the craziest statement we could think about right now, because this team is putting it together. I didn't know if it was possible to have as good of a performance as Junhao had against IG and Wei, but he's starting to make me think maybe he's trying to one-up himself here against JDG. And it's still early into the series. It is a best of 5, but some of the mechanical moments we've seen from this guy already today, he is on one.
Can't help but get hyped, especially for players who haven't had this level of success historically in their career. Junhao was on that Ultra Prime team last year, one that really didn't find an inkling of victory in their entire year. And so to see him kind of come back here onto ThunderTalk and make something work with rookie solo laners just speaks to the caliber and the ceiling that this guy can hit. And we had questions on whether or not he could find that same level that he did against Wei. So far, he is absolutely delivering on that level. Though dragging up in a little less than a minute and a half, this is really where the Xin Zhao has to pop off. This could be the make or break moment for ThunderTalk, as if JDG get the Drake Mazel, it is soul point for them.
And moving forward, you know, this 3K lead is huge for TT. Some of the item spikes will be a bit different. Also, no defensive structures on the outer part of the map for JDG to retreat to. Big importance there, as all of them are down. A minute out, we have second items being reached here. A couple black cleavers for both of the junglers. Getting close to full stacks, at least, for on his Miramana. At least trying to get to that one. And unfortunately, Gala just behind the precipice there as Out's pursuit. Double engage. There's a shockwave delivery, but it's going to be JunJia that ends up giving his life reset city for Heru, as he loses a huge chunk of health there, but he is fine and dandy as they continue to press. That was all of mid lane play while Keshi was still pushing top.
That was all of their ultimates as well. JDG, they look for the shockwave combo, and it doesn't get them anything. Even though JunJia will barely be back on the map by the time this dragon spawns, you have given away your 2 most valuable tools in the team fight. I think ThunderTalk should be able to secure this dragon after that. As I want to get a replay here. I was not expecting the
They thought he was
shockwave
overextended. Oh
to
my
come through
god.
here. Beautiful timing, but it doesn't amount to anything. The re-engage from TT is better. Heru flash ults forward to secure the kill into JunJia, and back to live. Dragon is being fought over. River is the subject.
JDG would be on soul point with this, but we have better item spikes for TT right now. They're going to try to burn it down, Quax. Mega Gnar's there. You have to be so careful. They are putting themselves between a rock and the death wall to their right. It's Mega Gnar ready to go for Keshi. He's waiting for the engage potentially. Feather holding over the wall. No Tempered Fate for 8 seconds. Keshi trying to go for the Mega Gnar play. Xiaoxu going for the counter engage here as over the wall comes dead. Feather. That's going to be one down. JDG feeling good. JunJia trying to get resets here. Trying to get something going with the Hound's pursuit. He wants to go forward here, but now it's Heru that goes forward with his ulti, which means JDG moved back in after everything utilized by TT to take the dragon for soul point.
Soul point for them, and ThunderTalk weren't able to really get the trigger pull by Keshi. Wasn't able to ult, wasn't able to give them an opening. And TT, I think, make the smart move. They concede the Drake soul point, but they only lose one member, though this crucially keeps the win condition alive for JDG Gaming to get back into this game and get back into this series, Mazel, as we do get a replay. Keshi going forward here, flash from Gala, invulnerability there from JunJia, and really no opportunity there from Keshi. The response from JDG was amazing off of the Gnar engage, or attempted engage. And then they try to look for HongQ. They try to go for a big Tempered Fate, but all of these attempts don't mean anything, and they have to concede the neutral objective.
Not gonna lie, if Heru hits a couple of those charms, it is a very different fight there. But
I agree.
You got to go with the mechanical execution in the moment. JDG maybe starting to rear their head, starting to make a motive in this series as they chunk back to about 1,000 gold lead from TT. Still a massive differential in favor of ThunderTalk, but it is going to be something to be scared of as we move forward in terms of JDG's potential to come back in this game. There's another connection onto Junhao. He's pretty tanky now on those two items, so he should be okay for now and has the move from Heru and Feather. This is the trio coming together.
Looking for picks and trying to make it work, as at this point in the game, we're 20 minutes in. Death timers are pretty long, and Baron is spawned up. So getting a pick is just extra consequential at this point in the game. And there's now Keshi.
They're just desperately looking.
Turned onto. That
They're
got
just
me a
gonna
little
start
bit
the Baron.
worried. I don't know if he can complete this,
way,
though. There's
dude.
no way,
no
right?
way. There is no way this is happening on my screen right now. They're trying to bait something out here. But are they going to get baited? Is this the bait of a bait? Voidseeker does go a little bit wide there. You had Heru moving down. Does have Spirit Rush available. All tools available for TT. Keshi is going to be left to his own devices for a moment. Bot side, now HongQ coming in answer to him. He's going to lose Mega Gnar here about half. Gala comes in with the Killer Instinct. He does get a beautiful flash over the wall, buying so much time and so much space, and TP's away.
Don't know if the teleport was necessary, but just an extra precaution there.
I think he was going to make it out, but it is what it is.
I do too. He had the steel caps. He had plenty of health. I thought he was fine. So that does remove the empowered TP shield from the Gnar to just make the engages of ThunderTalk extra potent and give the survivability over to Keshi. Wonder if that is legitimately something that JDG can exploit, though. Dragon is up in about 2 minutes. Baron is still on the map. We did see an attempt there by ThunderTalk about a minute ago. It just kind of feels like both of these teams are walking on a knife's edge. I think TT realized that JDG aren't as behind as they initially thought. And Keshi, now the subject of another pick on the opposite side of the map, potentially.
The big advantages are in top and jungle for TT. So JDG trying to wiggle their way around that. Another charm goes wide from Heru. Try to get the counter engage onto JunJia. JunJia takes the red buff there. Junhao is going to have to pop the Crescent Guard. And here comes Xiaoxu over the wall. He was thinking about it. Bone Skewer connects.
Heru!
The charm misses again. Heru can't hit one for his life, and his life is forfeit now.
Heru misses the charm, but crucially, the Pike was out of vision. The Bone Skewer, you had no time to react to it. Vampire gets the hook, gets the CC. JDG have the follow-up. And that is one member down for ThunderTalk. for about 20 seconds. It's not going to be a death timer long enough for JDG to threaten the Baron, as the waves aren't really in a favorable state for them to walk up that far into River. But it does give them the gold, and it does give them the time to set up around this bot side. Dragon's Soul for JDG is up in a minute, Mazel.
And that is the power of being able to find an objective you want to play around, that you want to stack around, and give yourself over to. They have put themselves in such precarious positions to burn that dragon and put themselves here. And Mountain Soul on this team comp is so devastating for TT. And it's already going to set the tempo into the Elder Dragons earlier on than anticipated in this game. 25 seconds for the setup on the dragon.
And the empowered Scuttle Crab taken by JDG, they will get a better picture of where the wards of ThunderTalk are. They own the bot side River. How are TT, with no Mega Gnar, by the way, going to approach this?
Let's see if they can get... Oh my god, the dogs do so much damage. Dog Wave is available. Dog Wave at the ready.
He's
for
waiting to
HongQ and
TP.
JunJia, the mid-jungle duo that we've set up so heavily, that has been put down so far in this series. 5 men strong for JDG here. Shockwave goes through.
Shockwave.
Keshi having a double jump away. Dragon is the focus now. Heru's in the back line here. Gets locked down. He's going to have to flash and uses his Spirit Rush away. A lot of defensive tools used so far. Tempered Fate could set the difference in this fight. This Feather going forward. There's the Spirit Rush as well. Moving in for the 50-50. Junhao goes for the Crescent Guard. The Dragon's still 5,000 health. Temper Fate goes wide again. It's a lot of misses from TT, and that might put them on the back end. 50-50 smite, and it goes the way of JunJia. That's the soul completed, and TT now with the white flag up. That white flag will be tattered red as JDG rip them a new one. And it's going to be Gala moving forward on his patented Kaisa. The killer instinct truly living within him as they move over to the Baron.
JDG keep the soul win condition alive. They set themselves up around every neutral objective, and they make it pay off. 2 members are alive for ThunderTalk, but neither of them is the jungler, and neither of them can stop this Baron. JDG found their moment, and they took it, and now they're in control of this game, Mazel.
And we always question Gala's impact on this team, sometimes a little bit lightly held. But when he locks in Kaisa, this man just turns into a Super Saiyan, and we get to see it once again.
We really do. TT, even just starting up this fight, you could tell we're grasping at straws. Every member at about half HP. We're expending some kind of summoner spell or ultimate in order to just dance around this bot side River. Put them in a difficult spot. Comes down to a 50-50. And JunJia is the one that manages to get it done. Magical Journey over the wall does get a couple members out and away, but most of them go down, and JDG get the fight win. And this was something that needed to happen. That soul doesn't go your way. That fight is given over to ThunderTalk. This game would be in a very different position right now.
And for the first time in this 27-minute game, JDG have a lead. As maybe even in this series, as game number 1 was very one-sided as well. And JDG feeling a lot more confidence with, I'm just going to say it, a kill-focused comp, right? Like, these are all just ruthless picks that are looking to take everything they can, and you see that gold graph differential.
Very back and forth. ThunderTalk had the gold, and now appear to have lost the plot a little bit. A lot of that in due part to Gala on his patented Kaisa. We talk about the comfort for a lot of these champions on JDG, and it's good to see that when meta fails you, like it did in game number 1, comfort can always be kind of the second option that you go for. And so now, if it gets them a win, ties up this series, I feel they will be feeling pretty good about themselves for the future of this best of 5.
I think for JDG as well, this is showing some of that potential growth through their bye, right? This is a team that thrived off of early advantages. We highlighted that so well, and that sometimes in the mid game, they get a little bit lost in the sauce. But this is a game where they have kept their eyes on the ball the entire time. They knew what they needed to accomplish, and now they are reaping the benefits for it. A 2,000 gold lead, Mountain Soul at their backs, and a doomsday timer for TT in 3 minutes with the Elder Dragon.
All of JDG go for a reset, though, and I think this is going to spell the end of the pressure with the Baron buff. So they don't manage to break open the base at any point of ThunderTalk's objectives. And this to me signals that we are likely going to see an Elder, Mazel. You've got the Soul, but ThunderTalk really have no real reason to fight you for a lot of these outer turrets that are still, or outer or even inner turrets that are still standing on their side lanes. So that just means 3 minutes from now, 2.5 minutes from now, we could see another dance around the bot side river. But JDG with Baron should at least be able to buy enough space to get vision around that area and set up better than ThunderTalk.
We're just seeing JDG reap the benefits of the side laning there as well, and just cleaning up the remaining outer turrets from TT's side of the map. It's going to feel really good as well. I just got to shout out, Gala's already on 4 items, by the way. Yep. One of those being Banshee's Veil, which is awesome. And being able to stay away from the Tempered Phase, being able to stay away from these one-off engages is going to feel really good.
Keshi pushing up a little bit. You can see JunJia maybe trying to find an excuse to let the dog out, both literally and figuratively, but won't be given that opportunity. And it feels like ThunderTalk are just, to keep up with my Storm puns, this is the calm before the storm, Mazel. We're a minute and a half away until that Elder, and I don't think TT really want much action on the map until that objective spawns.
They want items, especially Heru won that 3rd completion there for himself. But JDG gonna push some buttons of TT here as they move into the enemy jungle. Try to see if TT are gonna have a response to move in bot side as well. And that's the thing about this comp from JDG is they can be a little bit spread and still collapse so damn quickly, especially with Gala's plasma stacks. It's almost stopping Feather with a very greedy back there, but he does get away.
And look at how difficult it is for ThunderTalk to approach this bot side. I mean, you've got no vision, and you really have no tank either. Keshi is your front line, but he's only your front line when he's Mega. So approaching these dark, narrow corridors against a champion like Pyke, who, bone skewers you, and then JDG follow up and immediately get you to a gray screen, it's a tough, difficult task for TT to even get to this bot side river, much less contest JDG once they actually get to that location.
And we see where these leads have really developed. It's been HongQ, it's been Gala really carving those advantages out for JDG. Keshi's still holding on to his singular advantage there for TT, the big one that was developed for them earlier into the game. We already get the preemptive TP coming to the bottom side. Elder has spawned. It is time for JDG to push the tempo of this game.
You can see Keshi is off to the side trying to stack the Narvar, but TT, the rest of them want to just fight now.
Junhao goes for a secondary engage there as he looped back around. He's going to have to flash away defensively. Keshi needs to get Meganar, but they pounce. Xiaoxu finds the CC chain there as the Ruthless Predator came through onto Heru, and HongQ will be the Predator here, taking him down. Gala gets the outplay in the solo against Keshi, and now Keshi will flash away trying to go for HongQ. HongQ makes it out for now. TT surrounded. Bowskewer will not connect. Xiaoxu very tanky, very hefty in the side right now. Elder Dragon still looming here as JunJia starts it up.
JunJia's going to start it up, but there's blinking health bars on JDG. They've got to be careful how they approach this fight, but Keshi crucially is out of Mega.
Tries to go for a wild bone skewer, doesn't find it. JunJia now trying to move forward here too. On is going to get away for now. Still having the flash available, still having the exhaust available for
Feather!
On. Feather gets ported out of the magical journey on the wrong side that he didn't want. Xiaoxu just takes him down. TT are losing health bars and losing hope in this game number 2. Keshi's about to go down the solo advantage to the second team all-pro top laner. Xiaoxu with a triple kill already and give the other 2 to JunJia. Elder Dragon for JDG, and they might just finish the game.
It's an ace for them. It's an Elder for them. No Wave, I think, is in a position where they can end the game, Mazel, but they can certainly get Baron and the trifecta of objectives to show that you are in control of this game will be claimed by JDG Gaming as we get a replay here of the fight. And initially I actually thought ThunderTalk played this one out really nicely. They chunked out JunJia a little bit, made it difficult for the Neferi to really engage onto the fight, but then Heru steps up just a little too far, gets stunned, gets taken down, and then Keshi is split from the rest of the team. And your Gnar is your main source of engage, so if he is shoving and completely whiffing it, it feels so difficult to play out this remaining fight. And JDG know that. They close their grip around this game. and they close their grip around this fight.
This was such a scary moment as well. I gotta see what happens with Feather here.
Yeah.
Let's see exactly how this all went down, because Vampire was looming over here. He was waiting for it. He bone skewers him on the other side during the magical journey. Insane, and that makes up for all of the missed bone skewers by Vampire.
And we really were questioning the efficiency of a champion like Pyke in today's meta, as Gromp is going to help JDG get the ace. Just a little bit of a... What does he shoot? Like poison? Toxin?
Yeah. Sludge?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sludge. And, I mean, Baron up, Elder enabled, and Soul acquired. JDG with a rough early game are looking to tie this series up, and they've got all the tools to do so, Mazel.
Rough game number 1, too, but it does seem like JDG have knocked off some of that rust and are feeling much more like a second seed coming into the LPL 2026 Split 2 playoffs. And they're looking to barrel down the base now. 10,000 gold up 35 minutes in. Bone Skewer will go a little bit wide, but the Hound's Pursuit will be unleashed. He does have the GA, so he can play a little bit safely with that one. Call of the Pack also utilized, so he doesn't really have any of those untargetables ready at the go, but the Elder Dragon still is ticking, and they've got a heck of a ton of Baroned up cannon minions here. As one tower falls, Gala tries to go for the play out of that was cheeky, and now they're moving forward. They still have this Elder Dragon buff for just a second longer. Vampire's gonna go down, but Gala is still firing. Now Gala is looking to finish it, and that is all she wrote for game number 2. We got a series on our hands.
Great comeback there by JDG, sticking to their win con of the Soul and positioning around that objective nicely every single time. TT, it looked like they were winning in a majority of those early to mid-game skirmishes, Mazel, but when it came time for the late game objectives and those neutrals to really be the subject of a lot of skirmishing, it felt like JDG Gaming were one step ahead the entire time. So now tying up the series, and this confirms now, Mazel, that ThunderTalk are going to be playing at least 4-game series. They have not played this long of a series all year long. So the endurance test that they have yet to have faced so far in 2026 now coming at them against the second seed.
I gotta stand on a pedestal as well. Gala Kaisa.
Yes. Frame it.
Why
Underline
give it
it.
Why give it to him, bro? Why want that smoke, man? You know it's his. You have so many people that say, oh man, Gala's washed. What is he doing on this JDG team? This guy has been a legend in the LPL, and he took that one by the reins. And I love to see those kinds of performances. Xiaoxu as well, having a huge step up on the Renekton in those key moments in fights. And I think it's finally starting to see what works when JDG are able to come online.
And it's amazing to see that Gala still got it. You know, I think that there have been a lot of inconsistencies with his play over the course of 2026. Even in split number 1, a lot of people were concerned about his 2v2s with Vampire and getting caught off on rotations, having a bit of a lackluster / over-aggressive mid to late game. But this is a match where I feel the comp allows him to just go absolutely wild and on a champion that he is famous for. So a good vintage Gala game to get JDG back in contention for this best of 5. Much needed and very entertaining.
Yeah, it really has been. And a couple questions to TT. How do things work out from here? Is all the wind knocked out of their sails? How do they move forward with the comp? Because that's been 2 comps in a row. It was a little bit less so this time around, but 2 comps that kind of beg the question of what happens if we get to the late game? What happens if we get some of these spikes with some of the snowball enabled? But it didn't work this time. So either going back to the drawing board, trying to figure out what else works here, because you're going further into this series and you're going to need to figure out what the plan is.
It really just felt like the skirmishing power that their champions had and were gaining throughout each fight win were overpowered by the soul win condition that JDG had inevitably gotten. Right? Because once that becomes a factor, you're no longer able to one-shot the Pyke. You're no longer able to pick off the Renekton on sides. It removes a lot of macro choices from ThunderTalk, and so they were just kind of shoehorned into, all right, let's go for a team fight against the guys that have Mountain Soul at this point. And when that is your only option, I feel like there is only one response, and that is defeat, that is loss, and that is a JDG win.
How are we feeling? Is JDG turning it all around? Does that make up for all the problems that were in game number 1?
How are we feeling? I still personally think ThunderTalk are capable of bouncing back, even though this is the first loss we have seen from them in a best of 5 all year long, by the way. They're going to keep that record nice and shiny for us until this point. I feel they will be fine. I think this is a competitive series. We saw a competitive game number 1, a competitive game number 2, and a gold graph that, frankly, tells a very interesting story, Mazel.
That's a hell of a dip there, and the fact that they ended up bringing it over 10K in the end, just insane. And again, vintage Gala performance. Vampire, some things to be discussed maybe with the Pyke, but you won, so that's all that really matters. And we're going to take a look back at some of the plays.
It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And there were certainly some questionable positioning choices from the support of JDG early on that led to picks like this, but inevitably got a bone skewer onto Heru that led to a Baron threat, and he turned it around, right? So managed to finish out the game strong, as did everyone else on JDG. I think one thing that I'm really looking at for game number 3 and beyond, Mazel, is how exactly Junhao is going to be able to transition his skirmish power into objectives, because we saw that in game number 1. After every kill, normally a dragon would follow, or grubs would follow, or herald would follow. In this game, Junhao was on the map quite a lot more than the Neferi and was just managing to, I think, make a lot more of a splash in those first 15 minutes, but it never translated into anything. He was never able to get any dragons, so I feel like that is the big difference maker between games number 1 and 2, and probably something that we are going to have to keep our eyes on for game number 3 and beyond. Yeah,
I absolutely think so, and I'm excited to start seeing some potential more niche picks coming through. That was one of the Gala Owl plays there, but I'm very curious to see what TT's want to bring out, because get this, where you're gonna see more games from them than we have, and so it's gonna be a lot of fun compared to what we got to see with them against IG, where they just absolutely down smashed the entire team. It's nice to see JDG fight back as the 2nd seed as well, show a little bit of life here. But if we're starting to think about it in the setup of this game, I mean, got to start thinking about some MVPs here, and Gala had some good moments as well. I think JunJia had a hell of a comeback in this game as well.
JunJia had a good comeback, but I also felt like the Neferi was significantly stifled, as you were going to get knocked up by the Xiaoxu Q, you were going to get stunned by the Bard Q, you were going to get charmed by Ahri. There were multiple things that I think made this life of a Neferi difficult for game 2, so I want to give it over to Gala. I think that the performance from the Kaisa is what saved
I'm down for that. I'm biased.
Yeah.
So
I mean, let the man on his famous pick get his award. I think that it is well earned, and frankly, gotta reiterate that it was so much fun to watch. I think Xiaoxu being put on his Renekton, and then Gala being put on his Kaisa. We got the comfort picks, right, for game number 2 to bring it back for JDG. Now those are all eliminated, though. So, the question has to be continuing, what are we going to see from them in future drafts, right? We have to keep asking this question, because a lot of choices have been eliminated. A lot of good comfort picks from the JDG members have been taken off the board. ThunderTalk, this might be where the lack of information and the lack of games maybe comes in clutch, because you don't have nearly as much tape to go off of, which means that you're like, okay, they play this champion and this champion. You have like 3 names on each of the players that you take away. And so past that point, there's not a ton of tape on them. And so I think that might be something to look out for if Keshi maybe has a pocket pick, or Heru has a pocket pick. But HongQ
33% damage done, I guess.
Yeah, he's going to be the guy that wins player of the game. We just really love mid laners today. Heru got it in game 1, and now HongQ gets it in game number 2.
We just really want to highlight the mid laners. 94% KP, 33% damage done. Pretty good for the Orianna.
Quite.
And that's why we see it banned away a majority of the time. But it did get through and earned HongQ an MVP and JDG a game victory to bring us even keel in this series, the first series of the LPL playoffs. That's it for us for game number 2. We're going to be heading off to a break, getting ready for game number 3. We'll see you there.